Thank you. Yep, so I'm Amanda Waddell. I am the director of Zero Waste Repurpose Project, and I'm the director of Zero Waste Gainesville. So today I'm going to talk about Zero Waste in Gainesville, so everything that we've done there. I'm also going to talk about our ordinance, reuse, 2 reuse studies, and really our lessons learned and next steps. So Zero Waste Gainesville is a community organization. There are 3 of us. We run it as volunteers, and we really focus on 2 things. We do education and outreach to the community. So like last week, we had Zero Waste Week, which was an event. We had events like a Fix-It clinic. We had other events and outreach opportunities. The other thing we do for Zero Waste Gainesville is we talk to city and county commissioners, people, and the planet. And I'll talk more about them in a minute. So this is really what we've done in the city of Gainesville as far as working towards zero waste. You can see that we have had pay-as-you-throw in a commercial recycling ordinance since the 1990s. Really, our collective zero waste effort started in 2007 when Nina and Rachel and I started Zero Waste Gainesville. And so since 2017, we have a zero waste goal, a zero waste resolution, and we have a zero waste plan. So all of the items in orange are ordinances. The grays are programs and the greens are jobs. So we've had job creation since working towards zero waste, and we've gotten new ordinance passed as well. So really, I want to mention the jobs because we've been actively working towards zero waste, and because we knew with the zero waste effort, the mayor and 6 commissioners, so they formed a subcommittee. So 4 out of the 7 met for a year and a half to work on all the components in the zero waste ordinance. It was passed June 2nd of 2022. So we're almost to the 3-year mark, and not even everything is implemented or enforced. So it's really a large ordinance, and we've had some issues with implementation and enforcement, which I'm going to talk about also. And it was just a huge collaborative effort. So Zero Waste Gainesville and the Repurpose Project, we really headed it up, but we couldn't have passed it without the help of other grassroots organizers and even the private sector, like Life on Plastic, our refillery store, and Beaten Path, our community composter. All right, here we go. So like I said, food was a big part of this. Zero Waste Gainesville, we've talked about food for years in a variety of ways, and we knew that we wanted food in this ordinance. So basically in the ordinance, food generating businesses have to donate excess edible food, and then they have to compost their food scraps. And then we're working towards multifamily complexes composting, which is really huge. Gainesville's a college town. 50% of our housing is multifamily. So that's a really big effort to divert usable materials from going to our landfill. And eventually we'll get to single family food scrap composting, but we do have 2 pilot programs right now with single family residents. But this was really good because we didn't even have all the infrastructure in place for all of this. And like with most zero waste ordinances, they are phased in. And so we haven't even phased in all of the aspects of this. But since we've gotten this on the books, we've had many composters move into Gainesville to start their business or expand their business, including renewables. And a business from Jacksonville wanted to expand. There were some obstacles there, so it didn't work. But O-Town Compost is now working in Gainesville. And we had a local business that was composting yard waste, but now they've expanded to composting food scraps, and even a business in Sumter County is thinking of expanding. All right, so our zero waste ordinance, it covers a lot of other things, not just food, but the commercial recycling updates were very much needed. We do have a ban on expanded polystyrene on city properties because unfortunately that's all that we can do since we're a preemptive state. We have a ban on the use of glitter, intentional balloon release, and plastic confetti outside. Those are really hard to enforce, but at least we have them. But now the state of Florida passed the ban on intentional balloon release statewide, which is great. And take back on prescription drugs. But another really important part of the zero waste ordinance is that we wanted to get reuse in there. So we have accessories upon request, which is also sometimes called skip the stuff, where if you get to-go food, you aren't automatically given plastic utensils and napkins or condiments, stuff like that. This one is also really hard to enforce. We're having some issues there as well, but at least we have that. Multifamily housing, like I mentioned, we have a lot of apartment complex. 50% of our housing are apartments. But we wanted to get reuse in there because every time during big move in and move out times like July and August and also April and May, the apartment complexes just get roll-off bins because so much is thrown away at that. Complexes have to submit to the city how they're going to deal with those excess materials instead of getting the roll-off bin. So for example, they have to get extra dumpsters for the cardboard for recycling and have to have a place to collect all the extra lamps and bookcases and the other durable stuff that was getting thrown away. This one is also really hard to work on, and it's still being phased in as well. All right, so reuse expansion. So I want to mention the Repurpose Project. So where I work, we're one nonprofit, but we actually have 3 stores. So we take in used items from the community, and we have a huge intake process, and then we sell these items back to the community. So we have 3 stores. The original store, Reuse Planet is more of a traditional thrift store, and Renovator Reuse is building supplies. So here's a picture. They're all very close to each other. 2 of them are side by side as well. And when the Repurpose Project started in 2012, it was started by 2 co-founders, so 2 jobs. But since we've expanded, we have about 40 jobs now. So we worked on 2 studies, one in 2023 and one in 2024. This was part of my job. I oversaw these. It was really an amazing time. And we wanted to do these because we're continually trying to create these zero waste systems. So the ordinance worked on that, and these studies worked on them as well. So this study was a grant from the city of Gainesville where we assess the quality, quantity, and value of items left at the curb. So literally we drove around, we have specific routes, we picked up these large bulky items that people had set out for trash. We took them back into our store for intake, and we weighed and measured them, put them on the store with a barcode and to see if they would sell or not. Well, 90% of everything we tracked did sell for that study. And then we did the same study at the transfer station. So Gainesville has a transfer station owned and managed by Alachua County. So the county gave us a grant to assess the quality, quantity, and value of items brought into the transfer station for trash again. So we diverted over 900 items. We took them into our intake and barcoded them, weighed them, measured them, and we sold 89% of the items that we brought in. So I have reports on both of those studies if anybody wants to learn more about them and look at all of the other data. But basically in the reports, we have recommendations on how to create permanent systems to divert those items. So lessons learned: that the relationships we've built over the years with city and county staff and elected officials is crucial. Leadership at the top is needed. We have had it for zero waste. We still have it, but the intensity kind of comes and goes depending on what else they're working on. And the grassroots pressure and support is needed. Even when you have leadership at the top, you need the grassroots working on it. The ordinance implementation has been very difficult at times. Again, you need the leadership at the top, but we need more education, outreach, and technical assistance funding and people working on that, and enforcement. The city has great inspectors, but they have other things to work on too, but they do work on enforcement with zero waste, and we just need more of them. And our next step is just to keep meeting with the city and county staff and elected officials. We're probably going to keep expanding reuse, although hopefully we're going to perfect what we're working on because we really have a lot going for us now. And ordinance input. So our elected officials still come to us and say, oh, we're having trouble with this. What do you suggest? So we're still giving input on the ordinance implementation because that is ongoing, and it's been a really big process. Okay, well, that is it. Thank you.